Dude, I'm so pumped up for the back half of our week when we are going to be in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center for the Big 12 men's basketball tournament. We arrive Wednesday night, so we'll be there Thursday, Friday. We'll have a 1-hour Saturday championship special. I'm also very stressed about the trip, which we'll touch on later, because you're reason numero uno for that stress in the best way. But
excellent. Everything's coming to fruition.
It feels like I was, when we were driving in this morning, I was thinking about how, our kids are getting closer to spring break. For my kids, it's their final week of school. They get Friday off, and then bam, they're in spring break. I feel the same way as an adult. Like, spring break in your 20s is Cancun, Padre Island. Spring break in your 40s, Kansas City basketball with a media credential. I'm here for it. Same energy, same vibes.
Oh, it's the same thing, 100%. Actually, Kansas City's way better.
Yeah, it is. You've got all these different fan bases converging on Power and Light District, the T-Mobile Center. The women's just had a banger tournament. West Virginia shocks TCU. We'll touch on that game here in a minute.
Yeah, and by the way, the court was phenomenal for the championship game. Each team had their own basket that was branded for them. It was incredible.
All the court critics have been silenced.
Silenced.
You
can't give everybody everything, no matter what.
You seen these hawkers on social media throwing shade at us for overhyping the court announcement?
What?
Yeah. Where are you at now?
Yeah. Talk about overhyping. We underhyped, if anything.
Underhyped that court.
Yeah.
It's a sick court.
We very much underhyped it. We should have thrown a huge party. We should have had confetti.
No hype is too much hype for this floor.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see what it's going to look like in the men's tournament, which starts later this week. All right, so we've got our Big 12 whip around. We will go through the final regular season Saturday on the men's side. We'll take a look at the men's bracket. And then later on this hour, Chancellor Johnson, the Big 12 analyst and content creator, he's going to join us about 35 minutes from now. So Taman's got the games. We've got the recaps. Final regular season Saturday determined a lot on the men's side. So, T-Chains, where do we start?
All right, we start off first game, Utah at Baylor.
Well, Baylor went off in this game. 101 points, 101-75, the final at Foster Pavilion. Scott Drew earned his 500th career win, one of just 25 active Division I coaches to reach that milestone. If this was the final home game for Tunde Yesufu, 26 points on 10 of 16 shooting. Cameron Carr could be his final game in Waco. He added 21. Baylor shot a blistering 62% from the floor.
Yeah, and 68% in the first half. They hit 21 of their first 25 shots. You mentioned it with Tunde Yesufu. Both freshmen just exploded for Baylor. Tunde Yesufu scored 26 points, and Cam Carr was incredible as well. Utah turned the ball over 16 times, and Baylor converted that into 31 points. I told friends of mine that are Baylor alums that were going to this game, like, oh, yeah, Baylor will mop the floor with them. They're like, well, Baylor's bad this year. I was like, yeah. Yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet.
They're not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Utah finished just 2-16, by the way, 10-21 overall. They'll be much better next year. They didn't have the resources this year. They only had about 3 guys that I thought could even play for anybody else in the league.
I don't know if James knows this, but Kansas State played Kansas over the weekend, so that's the next game on the deck.
Well, why was Kansas wearing red at home? That's stupid. That's all I have to say about the 104-85 beatdown for Kansas. They won on Senior Day for the 43rd consecutive year. 20 straight for KU at home against K-State. Darren Peterson, 27 points on 10 of 15 shooting. Looked like he was playing a bunch of middle schoolers out there.
Yeah, I mean, what's with the minutes with Peterson? He barely played in this game. 27, very economical for Peterson on 15 shots. Kansas with 205 all-time victories now over Kansas State is the most for one opponent against any other opponent in college basketball history.
Oh, cool.
Just had to drop that in there. But, yeah, I thought this was Darren Peterson at his best. He was finishing at the rim. He was operating in the mid-range. who's commanding double teams, opened up his teammates. Trey White with 23 and 11, hit 5 threes. Melvin Council with 17, 10, and 8 rebounds, nearly had a triple-double. Yeah, I mean, they weren't playing the best team in the world, but it was an impressive victory for Kansas nonetheless. Looking amazing in their beautiful red uniforms at home.
They were sick uniforms, I will say that.
All right, next game, Arizona at Colorado.
Yeah, Arizona in this game got a little bit of a scare. Arizona finishes the regular season your Big 12 champs, 16-2 in league, 29-2 overall, 89-79, but it wasn't easy. Arizona was down by as many as 11 in the first half. They were down by a basket at halftime, but how did they answer? They shot 70% from the floor in the second half. Braden Burries had a season-high 31, including 22 in the second half. Koa Pete had 25. The freshmen were incredible. Koa Pete, 25 points on 12 of 15 shooting.
Yeah, and Koa Pete was the main ingredient, main cog in the first half, and it was Burries in the second half who had 22 of his 31 in the second half. Arizona rallied from down 10 late in the or down 11 late in the first half. I thought Bangkok Dak going down with foul trouble really helped Arizona in this one, but they dominated in the paint, 54-26, held a 37-32 rebounding advantage. And Arizona recorded 22 assists on 33 made field goals.
I will say Colorado has a freshman, Isaiah Johnson. He set a new school freshman scoring record. He had 28 points in this game. He surpassed Alec Burke's mark.
Wow.
From the 2009-2010 season. This is going to be a big-time player for the Buffs next year.
And it's the most wins in the regular season in the history of Arizona basketball. So the storied history, 29 wins, most ever for Arizona. Congratulations to them.
All right, next one on deck, Arizona State at Iowa State.
Well, this wasn't much of a game, 86-65. Iowa State pulls away. This game, actually, Arizona State played really well for about a little more than half of the contest. Arizona State led 45-41, but then Iowa State goes on this historic run, a 24-0. That's a kill shot squared. Kill shot on top of a kill shot. They broke it wide open. Balanced scoring, Jefferson, Lipsy, Momcilovic all finished with 16, and then Lipsy had 6 steals in his Hilton finale on senior night, a very emotional game for Taman Lipsy, who's been there forever.
Yeah, did I see this right, that Arizona State had 23 turnovers? Because it felt like they had more. And 13 of those 23 came in the final 20 minutes. Iowa State had 16 steals. Lipsy had 6 of them. In fact, Lipsy went on a true senior night, 16, 6, and 6, which is too many sixes, Taman. Maybe should have had one more point, one more rebound. 16, 6, and 6. 6 steals on senior night. It's a lot of sixes. So, yeah, Iowa State was down 4 at halftime, and then for 9 minutes of this game, Arizona State couldn't score. 24-0 run. That's a kill shot of all kill shots.
And Bobby Hurley got ejected, by the way. Just a little side note there.
His last regular season game as the Arizona State head coach. How about that?
17th time this season.
All right, next one, Houston at Oklahoma State.
Houston at Oklahoma State. Man, Oklahoma State, they battled in this game. Oklahoma State led by as many as 13 in the first half. They held a 4-point lead at the break, 41-37. But then Chase McCarty, a redshirt freshman from Houston. This dude is going to be the next great at Houston. He's going to be the next Emmanuel Sharp, the next Jamal Shed. He's a baller. He's 6'5". He's well built. He can shoot the cover off the ball, but he's been battling through a whole plethora of injuries, which is why he redshirted last year. But they're super high on him. He had 14 of his 20 points in the second half. Houston rallied. They finish 26-5, 14-4 in the Big 12.
I mean, who? Right. Chase McCarty, a 4-star redshirt freshman, came off the bench and scored 20 points. He was electric from 3. He's the leading scorer in this game. When you think about all the guards that they have, you know, to see McCarty emerge or start to see Mercy Miller more and more now, it's really interesting to see how this rotation is getting longer as they get into postseason play. Kind of a very interesting season for Houston. But yeah, Chase McCarty was phenomenal in this game, and looked like an upset was brewing in Stillwater before. I mean, Houston was absolutely dominated for the better part of 30 minutes of this basketball game, but their depth and their ability to wear Oklahoma State down was what won it for them.
All right, next one, Texas Tech.
Real quick, McCarty hit a dagger 3, by the way, that you're watching on Big 12 Studios. to make it 80-73 with about 40 seconds to go. And if you see him in person, like, the TV doesn't do him justice for how built he is. Like, he looks like an NBA-ready guy right now.
All right, next one, Texas Tech at BYU.
Texas Tech led for the majority of this game. BYU rallied late. Rob Wright III just took over. 23 points. He had 27 for the game, but 23 in the second half. He made his first 7 baskets after halftime. BYU snapped that 3-game skid. I also thought that BYU, Kevin Young with the coaching move of the year, he put Kadeem Boop on Christian Anderson in the second half. Boop is about 6'9", but he's lightning quick, and he made life very difficult for Christian Anderson in the second half. He couldn't clear any of his step-back threes. He had to work in the lane. The Marriott Center, they stormed the court after an 82-76 win. BYU takes down 10th-ranked Texas Tech.
Yeah, Tech was up 13 at half. They hit 12 first-half threes, and then they ran out of gas. Rob Wright scored 27. You mentioned 23 in the second half. And Wright and DeBanza combined to make 5 straight buckets to fuel a 15-2 run to give BYU a 75-66 lead with 4:16 left. Gabe Ikeda was phenomenal in this game. 11 rebounds, 6 on offense. He was an absolute beast.
All right.
And yeah, this came down to Christian Anderson basically needing to take over down the stretch, and he couldn't do it.
Okay, final one, Cincinnati at TCU.
Well, who in the world would want to play TCU right now? They've won 5 in a row. They've won 8 of their last 9 games, including wins over Iowa State, at Texas Tech, and they handled business against Cincinnati at Schulmeyer Arena on Saturday. Jaden Pierre had 18 points. Layla Vicious added 14. David Punch was balanced. Micah Robinson hit a buzzer-beating 3 at the half to put TCU up 32-29. It was tied. Then they went on a 9-0 run, and really Cincinnati could never claw their way back in the game. They committed 19 turnovers, which TCU turned into 24 points.
Yeah, 19 turnovers for Cincinnati. TCU closes with 5 straight wins. It's their longest Big 12 winning streak ever.
Wow.
Congratulations to them. Also, TCU had a buzzer beater at the end of half from 3 that I think really gave them the momentum they needed in the second half. A Jalen Celestine three-pointer cut TCU's lead to 1, 36-35, less than 3 minutes into the second half. But the Horned Frogs went on a 9-0 run that basically ended the game for Cincinnati, and a must-win game for the Bearcats.
That's all I got, guys.
What about we missed the Friday night game? It's a big one. West Virginia and UCF.
Come on, Taman.
That's on
missed
me.
it too.
West Virginia, UCF.
West Virginia got a 15-point win, 77-62. Honor Huff went off for 24 points.
Yeah, had they not lost to K-State, this game would have meant a lot more. UCF is reeling here. TCU is getting stronger. UCF is reeling. They find themselves in the bubble now as they've lost 3 straight here. West Virginia sweeps the season series against UCF. West Virginia was up 22-10 in the first 10 minutes. UCF shot 35% overall, missed 5 of 6 in three-point range, and did not attempt a free throw in the first 20 minutes. And it was hard for them to come back after that.
UCF is really struggling to defend right now, which is this late in the year, usually it goes the other way.
Yep.
Teams are more productive on the defensive end. But in their last 3 games, they've given up 87 to Baylor. They lost that overtime game against Oklahoma State, 111-104. And then West Virginia hanging 77s, like giving up the century mark to anybody else because they're like 360th in adjusted tempo. They don't have a lot of possessions. So that's a killer loss. They're 3-6, UCF, in their last 9 games. And to your point, Lenardi has them part of the last 4 in or the last 4 buys.
Let me pull it up. Let me go to it. UCF is last 4 buys currently. Man, we'll have to get deeper into bracketology. In fact, there's a stat right now that shows that parity is dead in college basketball, and it may be even buried based on what happens at the 2026 NCAA tournament. Also, congratulations to West Virginia. It's the first time ever that a 2 seed has won the Big 12 Women's Championship, Women's Tournament. So congratulations to them. 11 straight that the 1 seed had won that tournament. Man. So impressive stuff on the women's side this weekend for West Virginia, and handing TCU this loss.
Mountaineers won their 3rd conference tournament title in program history, their first since 2017, as they take down the top seed TCU 62-53. A little bit more on that game coming up after the break, and then we'll go through the Big 12 men's basketball tournament bracket and which games over the weekend mattered the most and why. He's Ari, I'm James. This is Big 12 Radio, exclusively on TuneIn. You're watching us on Big 12 Studios.